Hey, I'm live. Welcome to the Will Studios. Let me get my screen, my tablet shared here. Here we go. Now we're making a comic book. We'll see if I get a single viewer on this stream. Maybe this is the one. Maybe this is the one someone's going to join me while I'm doing it live. I was working on page 6 down here, and I was starting to like. Let me reposition myself here a little bit. I was starting to like how his arm was turning out there. And then I realized it can't be that way. It can't be like that. Gotta get rid of that. Because if he's playing a game, right, I'm going to have him play, I'm going to have it be a diving version of like Flappy Bird. And so he's just going to be like tapping the air. In case anyone's forgotten, this is the year 2056. All right. And everybody's earbuds can project a HUD, and that's how we do things in the future. We don't need big, bulky goggles for VR anymore. And it really frees everything up. So I decided I want his arm to maybe even, should I have it be in the crook of his other arm? Is that how it needs to be? I'm supposed to be dead right now, because I was going to have my wisdom teeth removed. Even now they're hurting a little bit. But I had a little bit to drink at 3 a.m. because I had a cough. And I thought, well, that shouldn't be a problem. Oh, wait. They can't sedate me. They can't do the surgery because you might die on the table if, things go wrong. Because I guess the sedation makes people nauseous. And so you got to have an empty stomach. Not just of food. I guess she mentioned drink. I didn't argue with her at the time. But I'm like, man, I felt like water was okay. I felt like, oh, I got to wait till Tuesday now. I got to reschedule things with my work now. I got to do, okay, awesome. This is my favorite part of life. I kind of want to call my mom and just tell her how pissed I am that I'm alive. Anyway, we're making a comic book. Because I didn't die. If I had lied, if I had been like, oh, I didn't do any of that. Or because they said eat or drink, and I'm like, well, I drank a little bit. But in hindsight, I'm like, maybe I should have just been like, nope. And then in the middle of it, just dead, done. Like, God damn it. He took a sip of water. This dumb son of a bitch didn't tell us that he took a sip of water in the middle of the night. Now he's dead son of a bitch. Get him off my operating table. Call his wife. But no, I am unfortunately alive. I probably would have survived. Come on. Like I'm gonna die. So now I got to deal with more minor pain. The pain was so bad the other day I couldn't even talk. Because I guess I got a little food stuck in there, like on the nerve or whatever. And I was just like on the ground, just like, you ever wanted to moan? Have you ever legitimately wanted to moan in pain, but you wouldn't because you're not that much of a pussy? That's where I was. I was sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, if I was like captured in Vietnam, I'd have to put up with this and then not spill the beans. That's what I'm telling myself. Stay sane. Freaking it started up while I was at work bartending, and so this family comes in and it's a wedding, and I have to just be like, oh, what can I get for you? Just like do the whole thing, just say as little as possible. Shake the drinks. Every time I shake a drink, it's like wah, 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 wah. My replacement bartender came in. He's like, hey, how's it going? Usually I'm like, oh, I'm fantastic. I'm like, I am in a tremendous amount of pain. Tremendous amount of pain. Even talking now, it's like starting to build up a little bit, so I really ought to cut that out. But my doctor got me some amoxicillin, which cut the pain down drastically, and now I can speak, and there's no swelling. And I put like a little like temporary filler in there, which package says it's only supposed to be 2 days, and now I need it to last till Tuesday. I'm gonna die in the dumbest way possible. I know it. I always used to joke about, oh, I'm gonna die in some epic fashion, but I don't think so, man. So here I'm creating, so this is the bottom panel. Let's take the blue off. Everything under the blue becomes underdrawing, so I guess I can get rid of that completely here in a second. So here, I'll come down here to layer 14, get rid of that underdrawing because now I have her pretty much thought out. I have Hayden over here pretty much thought out. And I want to, in the next like 2 minutes, I want to end up with just one layer of underdrawing. And I know there's probably a way easier way to do this, but here I am. And I had made 2 other live streams that I deleted right away because they just weren't all that interesting and nobody showed up. But now, because one of the channels that I started following, who I started following him when he was like at 200 followers because he was making fun of Shad Brooks and the AI art stuff. Shad runs Shadiversity, and so it's a huge channel who I used to actually go to for a little bit of input. He had one thing in particular about how castles were designed that I listened to, and that was very useful when I was working on Dark Steel, which I had an idea about that. I had an idea about Dark Steel not too long ago. And it was kind of a similar sort of revelation that I had here with Release, where I figured out a new main character, a new dynamic for the main characters. Do I want to keep that under drawing for now? Yeah, I do. For now, I do. Because I didn't fully ink it yet. So let's merge that down. And merge that down. Is there even anything on 6? I'll leave 6 up here. And merge those down. So now I just have that up there, and this down here, and I'll just get rid of that. All right, simple 3 layers. Sometimes I watch YouTube videos and I see people with like freaking 50 layers and they're grouping layers and stuff, but I'm technically incompetent and retarded. So I'm not here for all that. Now, Hayden here is at a bus stop. And so what I need to do is move him around a little bit. Right there. And, he's leaning on the pole because I was trying to decide, okay, how is he standing waiting for the bus? Because in 2056, public transportation is like the only way to get around. Nobody is allowed to own a car. It's part of the whole deal with things. Or cars would be prohibitively expensive for someone who doesn't have a role in society, and most people are stuck in a perpetual school system that runs on indefinitely because it's part of a social welfare thing that's happening. So now that I've decided that is how he's standing, the rest of this is starting to make a bit more sense, and I just need to draw somebody down here who looks like they're sitting down, who is a little slightly farther away, or not too much farther away. I guess, you know what? If he's sitting down, okay, his head's going to be right here. Yeah. And he's looking down too. Most people are looking slightly down because they're interacting with whatever the hell's going on. give him some cheekbones, give him his face a little bit of direction. Just throw in some quick geography. It's maybe a little too big. It's good. I don't necessarily need to see his hands, and I don't want him to be like doing the exact same thing as Hayden. I don't want it to look that way. There's some things I like took for granted when I was more of a doodler. Maybe I need to like have a little more respect for who I was, because I used to just spit stuff out because I didn't take myself seriously. I wasn't trying to like be a professional. But now it's like I overthink it sometimes and I'm overworking it. I'm thinking too much about who's this guy down here. Should I make him more of a businessy guy? Should I make him older? Because he could be anybody, man. I kind of want everyone to be kind of fit. There are going to be some like overweight people, but for the most part, I think society has improved when it comes to that in the future. It's part of my utopia dystopia. Decided I wanted to tell stories about, like, since I was a child, and then only really got serious about it when I was in my 30s. Bounced around on different scripts I was writing. Feel like I burned bridges with people that got tired of waiting on me. But we're doing it live here at the Will Studios. So now that I've made like a little homunculus down here, which is how a lot of people that I draw, even the ones that look good in the finished product, they'll go through a little phase of development, so to speak, like this guy does, where he's like a little clay man. But he is not even really formed in my imagination yet. I think I had him as like just a generic like bald dude in the concept art. Maybe I'll give him like a droopier countenance. Self-taught artists, so go easy on me. Should everyone but the main characters have, like, just generic hair? It's this dude's hairstyle. Maybe he has, like, lustrous long hair. Yeah, he's one of those long-haired guys. You've seen him around. They are now represented in my comic book. There we go. Like an elderly surfer dude. He's like, I'm only 46. Be like, but you look 80 because of all the sun exposure. Where are you on your way to, sir? Hayden has to get to a class that he is being forced into going to in person because he's wasted so much time doing other stuff. He's a bit of a procrastinator. I swear this is not a self-insert character. But maybe a little bit. The way I think, because I always feel like I'm the prototype for the next genre of human beings. I was on comic books and stuff before they really went into mainstream, and then it's like I'm over that. And then I got in and out of cosplay too, like before it got super big. Like a buddy of mine who I used to wait tables with just got invited to the Deadpool Wolverine premiere, and I'm like, good for you, man. I never thought it like that sort of thing would happen. Like I back when I was cosplaying, I did it because I thought I would look good and I enjoyed getting pictures taken. But I really didn't I didn't have a job to fund the lifestyle, so to speak, and I got to a point where I was getting like kind of hard on myself, and I'm like, "Oh man, you need to find some sort of profession." And then that never fucking happened. Went to culinary school and eventually decided I needed to chase this dream to make a comic book. Because I'm sitting here watching things, trying to be entertained. For a long time, I thought the goal was just to like make enough money to survive and buy comic books so that I could get to the end of One Piece, so that I could just keep myself entertained on a weekly basis while the world burned down, because we've been right now. I know it feels bad, and it is, with Kamala and Trump now running against each other. But it has always felt like we were sliding down that slide into whatever comes next, whatever comes after this whole thing goes off the rails. But then I got dumb and got a family, so now I spend most of my time trying to make money. But not really. I'm trying to make a comic book now, which will eventually make money. Excuse me. But I should be dead, like I said before. I'm supposed to be gagging on a table like 4 hours ago. 6 hours. It was like an 8 a.m. appointment. I remember feeling really good at 2 p.m. and thinking I shouldn't eat anything else, you know. But they're like, oh, just 8 hours. Like, just don't eat anything before you go to sleep or after you wake up. I'm like, okay, well, 6 p.m., have some dinner, okay. And then wake up in the middle of the night, just, and like a little bit of, and I told him, I'm like, just a little bit. Just like, I'm just, nope. She says, I had a 12-year-old die on me because he lied. He lied and said that he didn't have anything, but he did have something, and he died on me, and I am never going to forget that. I'm like, come on. Doctors say that sort of shit, don't they? Just to try and get you to not push to do it. Just so that I'm not like, come on. I won't die. I promise. Rip my fucking teeth out. Put me to sleep and take my teeth out. It's amazing how booked these guys are. They have to really squeeze you in. Okay. Let's get another layer real quick going, because we're going to have a background. We have we have Hayden's got to get the class. I got to add a diagram that she's pointing to here. This is his little digital assistant. Then we have him. You're like, oh, geez, I got to get out of here. Then we switch to cut to the girl. She's approaching the area, right? The bus stop. Then we cut to the superhero, one of 2 android superheroes that patrol the planet. And then we are at the bus stop. So from that angle here, I'm going to see some buildings in the background. Drawing guide. Oh, shoot. Hate it when it does this. There we go. So let's say back there is where the sidewalk meets the buildings that she's walking by. Actually, let's fix that, because freaking I'm like an idiot. There we go. pay attention to the screen in case somebody what if somebody shows up? So, if that is the sidewalk that she's walking down, and this is the edge of that. Here, let's do this even. I'm going to get so much better at making comic. This is probably something that doesn't even matter. I'm going to copy and paste this panel. Okay. Make everyone else invisible. And no, wait a minute. Why is that? Because I did that. Okay. There we go. So I'm going to make the scene like this and then just blow it up into the panel size. So Hayden is standing. That. I don't need to worry too much about how his feet are, but it would be nice if I knew how they was. Anyway, so he's sitting here by the pole. This guy is over here. I got that would be like that. So if he's there, he's like closer to the curb. And this guy's sitting on a bench. He'll be doing stuff with his hands in front of him too, but I was like, okay. This thing. The roof of the thing would be up here. bus stop. So behind him, you would expect probably like an advertisement, maybe something. Maybe just like a generic, like swoopy shape would be good. The sides, I think, are going to be glass. And I can elaborate on the swoopy shape at some point. But building out the streets, I guess that would be a doorway, right? I could drop a doorway right here and then have her be walking by one. And have there be barrier. And really, I just wanted to make sure that I was going to make the doorways the proper size. And there might be a way to do that that's not just looking at it, but like I said, I'm low tech, so all I do is look at it, and if it looks right, okay, and I hope it still looks right to me tomorrow, because sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time, that is, it doesn't, and then I gotta come back and redraw it. And then you're waiting even longer to figure out what Release is all about. It's a great story. It's a story worth learning how to draw. So, to add some more lines up here, because I think we're just about done. And oh, that's close enough. Oh, you know what? Check that out. The lines I dropped in earlier work just fine. And now I just need to put that there's doors over here. This could be one of those handles, like scoop in. You see, there's only a little bit of this advertisement behind this guy, so I could literally just draw like some kind of swoop. I don't know. I'll figure that out. Ooh. I was thinking about Twitch streaming Minesweeper. I'm like, what video games am I good at? Do Minesweeper. I'm surprised how few people are actually any good at that. All right. Well, my teeth are starting to hurt again, so it's been a good little live stream. I know most streams go for like 5 hours. Someday I'll do that. If I had like 1 or 2 people watching right now, maybe I'd keep going, just fight through the pain. But not so. Thank you for joining me in the future. Whoever watches this after I post it as a video at the Will Studios. Thank you for coming. Bye. I should know where the exit button is. Oh, there we go.